Hey, how's it going? This is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can generate more revenue for your business every single month through the use of Google. Now, if you take a look at the top here, you'll notice we're looking at AC repair in San Antonio, which generates about 1,600 searches every single month. Now, keep in mind that this number is much larger when you add in all the other terms such as AC installation, AC repair near me, and all these other different terms that you can add in here for the San Antonio area. However, like I said, for this video, in the sake of time, we will just be focusing on AC Repair San Antonio, but I wanted you to get an idea of the greater spectrum of things and how much potential this strategy has. So without further ado, let's go to your website and talk about things that we can do internally to improve our website's search appearance. Website, and the first thing I want to say is that you have a very visually aesthetic website, and I imagine it does its job as far as pushing leads to your business. However, we want to turn our website into a tool for lead generation so that we can really get some revenue back from this website. And how do we do that? Well, the first part of that is going to happen with internal SEO, and that's essentially all the different ways that we can improve your website search appearance from within the website itself. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of terms like title tags, heading tags, local business schema, and all these other ways that you can improve your website search appearance. But for the sake of this video, we're going to focus on the two most important ones, which are content and keywords. Now, starting with content, why is content so important? Well, we want to have a very contentful website because it tends to receive a favorable ranking from Google. Now, the reason that is because content tends to lead to higher levels of engagement. When users are more engaged, you have a better user experience. And ultimately, when they have that better user experience, they tend to come back to not only your website, but also Google for future searches. So it makes sense because it's essentially a win win for both your website and Google when you use more content. So definitely something to think about. Now, we don't just want any content though, because you're probably saying, well, why don't I just throw up a website with 10,000 words and rank number one? And while that sounds like a good idea, it doesn't work because of something called relevance. Like I said, we don't just want to rank for any keywords. We want to make sure that our content is relevant. And the way we do that is with keywords. Now, keywords are essentially the most used words or phrases on a website. And based on these keywords, Google is going to determine what your website is about. So we want to make sure that our keywords are very industry specific. Normally, I like to tell people that keywords should answer the three main questions for Google. And those questions are, what do you do? Where do you do it, and who are you? So we want to answer those three things. Let's take a look at your keywords and see if they answer those three main questions. And if they don't, we'll see how we can optimize them to make sure that they do. Keywords everywhere. You can see your website plugged in at the top. And if we scroll down here, you'll notice your most used keywords from most to least. And obviously there's more keywords if we scroll down, but like I said, we're going to focus on those first 5 to 6 keywords to really answer those questions. Now, number one, you have air, which is a really good keyword. A lot of AC companies use air at number one. And then number two, I always recommend some sort of modifier to the first keyword. So, like you have right here, you have repair. That's great. Obviously, other modifiers could be like installation or other AC related words. Now, where it goes and starts to fall off is in your third, fourth, fifth, and sixth keyword. This is where I really recommend you start optimizing further because you did hit the nail on the head with the first two. But now, normally in this 3 and 4 spot, I recommend always going to a location based keyword. Now, in your case, we're going to want the city first and then the state. So we're going to want San Antonio and then Texas at number four. This is going to help really drive some local traffic to your business and really tell Google where you do all of your work. So, super important that we have our location within those top 6 keywords for local traffic. And now, number 5 and 6, we're going to want our brand. The reason I tell businesses to always put their brand is because a lot of companies think that they rank number one for their brand all over the world. And that's not necessarily the case all the time. Sometimes you get a business that has a similar name or even the same name, either in the United States or overseas. So we want to make sure that we rank for our brand at all levels, both locally and nationally. So definitely something to think about. And like I said, kind of to recap, first 2 keywords are dedicated to your industry. Third and fourth keyword go to your location, and then 5 and 6 go towards your brand. So let's take a look at your competitors and see what they're doing as far as keywords go, and see if they're kind of following that model. So here we have Comfort Boys, and they rank on the first page organically for San Antonio AC repairs. And let's kind of take a look at why. So right off the bat, you're going to notice that they have a ton of content on this page. It's upwards of 2,000 words of content. And now I don't recommend ever going that high because you do sacrifice some visual aesthetic. However, I do recommend about 750 to 1,000 words, like I said, but always feel free to up that to compete with your competition Obviously, it varies industry to industry and level to level. So in this case, you're definitely going to want to go above and beyond that to really build out your content to compete with these guys. But let's see what type of keywords they're using to make sure that their content is very relevant. So once again, we're back to Comfort Boys and keywords everywhere. And you'll see number one, they have air, so very industry specific. Where they messed up is normally at your number two spot, you want that industry modifier, but they chose to prioritize the location, which isn't necessarily a bad idea. However, like I said, I still think that you can prioritize your location while still targeting your industry specific keywords. So they put San Antonio at number two and three. Then they put system call the best. So as you'll see, their keywords after the top three or four start to really fall off. And we want to remain industry specific all throughout. So even after your first six keywords, we want to start focusing in on it, even having more industry specific keywords or more keywords that relate to our industry in some sort of way. So definitely something to think about. Use this list as kind of a guide. Obviously, you don't want to use it as your complete keywords list because they didn't optimize, fully themselves. But use this as a guide for maybe your first 1 to 3 keywords, and then continue to build out from there. Let's go back to your website and talk about external SEO and kind of how it ties into everything. So now we're back to your website and we're talking about external search engine optimization. What is it? Why is it important? So we had internal SEO, which was everything we could do on website, and that was going to lay our foundation. So now we have external SEO, which is everything we can do off website, and that's going to give us that big push or kick to get over our competition. Now, let's talk about what is external SEO. In this case, we're talking about backlinking. Now, what is backlinking? Why is it important? So backlinking, very simple. It's just a link from one website to another. Normally, this is done from some sort of image, maybe an anchor text, or even just a raw link put into another website that redirects back to yours. And this is super important because what it does is it transfers SEO power from one website to another. Now, it does that by acting as a reference to Google because when you link to another website or when another website links to you, it's essentially saying, hey, I recommend the information on this website or I recommend this business. So think about that when you're linking out because we really want to focus on the quality of our links. It's a very fine tightrope to walk, and you hear about backlink stories all the time. And we really want to make sure we focus on quality because just like a good backlink can give us a good reference, a bad backlink can give us a harmful or spammy reference and tell Google that we are also a harmful and spammy website. So something to really think about because we don't want to see our ranking drop from bad backlinks. So really focus on the quality. Let's take a look at your current backlink structure with a tool I have called Ahrefs. So here we are on Ahrefs, and you can see your website really isn't generating any data because there's not really much power there. There's not much backlinking being done. Currently, you have about 4 backlinks, which generates you or puts you in the top 100 for 25 different keywords, but doesn't really generate you any traffic. So let's take a look at your competitors and see if we can really go through these metrics and see how they work in action. So here we have Comfort Boys, and as you can see, they have a 21 UR and a 1.1 DR, which puts them in the top 100 for 931 different keywords and generates them about 1,300 users every single month. Obviously, this is accompanied with internal SEO as well as external SEO. But let's talk about these metrics. What does this even mean? So UR stands for URL rating, and what that describes is the individual power given to a single web page. So in this case, we're just talking about the Comfort Boys homepage, and that generates them a 21 UR, whereas DR stands for domain rating. And what that is the individual power that goes through an entire website. So now we're not just talking about the homepage anymore, we're talking about these cooling pages, heating pages, venting pages, resource pages. All those pages are summarized in DR. So we want to have the best of both worlds, create, a strong UR, a strong DR, as well as having a solid internal SEO structure to create the strongest SEO strategy possible. But let's keep working down the line and look at some other competitors. So we have Will Fix It. They have a 34 UR, a 12 DR, generates them about 2,800, or I should say puts them in the top 100 for 2,800 keywords, and generates them about 4,000 organic users every single month. And if we go further from there, we have Armendia, and if we go here, we have a 38 UR, an 11 DR, puts them in the top 100 for 2,600 keywords, and it generates them about 2,700 users every single month. So there's a clear correlation between strong SEO and the number of organic users that you generate per month. So you can see that there's a lot of potential there. But let's go back to the Google search engine results page and talk about the Google Map Pack or the Google My Business profile. So we're back in Google, and if we scroll down here, what we've been talking about is the organic search results. However, if we scroll back up here, you have this map pack, and what is this map pack? So the Google Map Pack essentially gives businesses another place that they can win on Google because like we talked about before, you can win down below or you can rank number one in the map pack. So the best results possible come from ranking number one in both, because if you can do that, you essentially guarantee that 1,600 people see your website first before looking at another competitor every single month. So a lot of potential if you can rank number one in both. But you're probably asking yourself, how do I get into the map pack and how do I rank in the map pack? So to get into the map pack, you first have to fill out the GMB form and verify your business via postcard. All of that is 100% free. Now, to rank in the map pack, you have to adhere to the different factors that Google is looking for. So, number one, they're looking that you filled out that form to 100%, because the more information you give them, the more reputable your business looks. Number two, they are looking for a strong organic presence or strong SEO. So, like I said, SEO doesn't help just down below, but it also helps up here. Number three, they're looking for your citations. Now, citations are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. And some popular citations are things like Yelp, the Yellow Pages, Facebook, Instagram. All these different places are citations you can give for your business. I actually have a tool called Whitespark that's going to tell me each of these businesses and how many citations they have. So let's take a look at that and determine how many you'll need for your business. So here we are on Whitespark, and you can see from top to bottom was the order. We have Atlas Repair LLC with 22 citations, Tiger Services Air Conditioning and Heating with 41, and San Antonio Air Service Experts with 37. So a lot of citations, but not too many. I normally recommend getting double the biggest amount in there. So the biggest amount is 41. So I'd recommend you go out and get 82 on top of all the other factors we listed to really go in there and rank above and beyond your competitors, and really leave no questions for Google. You see here that this company has 22 citations and they rank number one, despite having the lowest number in the top three. And that's because, like I said, you have all those different factors that maybe they're optimizing their profile better, maybe they have a stronger organic rank. So we don't want to leave any questions like that up to Google, because 9 times out of 10 they'll get it wrong, and we do not want that. So we're going to go above and beyond in every category to create the strongest ranking possible. And once again, this is all I have for you in this video. I hope it was very helpful. Once again, my name is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads. And like I said, I hope this video was very helpful to you, and thanks for watching.